my beautiful Sagittarius friends, and welcome to your horoscope for October of 2021, where this month, Sagittarius, not only are we getting closer and closer to Sagittarian birthday time, and we have planets running out of retrograde. We've got Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter, and Mercury coming out of retrograde, but we have also got Venus coming into your sign, which is the yearly signal to glow up, to go ahead and make those beauty changes. And it is not just about the physical beauty changes, it's that you become loaded with magnetism. Things are magnetized and pulled towards you. Venus in your sign is like, come on, things that we're looking for, come this way. So it literally, you become an energetic magnet. So there's a lot that you can do with that this month. And I'm looking forward, really all the way until November 5th. I'm looking forward to see what you do with that beautiful energy. So let's get in here, Sag, and see what's going on for you this month. Now, right at the beginning of the month on the 6th, we've got a busy, energetic day. So I would love for you to circle it on the calendar and just be aware that it is a busy, energetic day. We've got a new moon happening at 13 degrees of Libra, which is going to light up your 11th house space. So at the new moon, we're planting our seeds of intention to begin something new. And sometimes in beginning something new, what you'll be shown over this next 4 weeks is not only that you've needed to say no to something so that you can say yes to something else, but you've needed to say yes to something so that you can say no to something else. And this creates the rearrangement of balance, Libra, in this particular area of your chart. And the universe never leaves a hole. It just doesn't leave a hole. It's like a vacuum. It's going to fill it with something. And at the new moon, you're asking for it to fill it with what is the absolute very best and in alignment for you at this particular time. Now, in the 11th house, we've got friends, social groupings, social media, even your long-range plans, goals, designs, aspirations for yourself, and the plans that you're going to enact to get there. This is what lives in the 11th house space. So I wouldn't be surprised if up until now, especially this year, Sagittarius, if you haven't had plenty of social group or friendship rearrangements or realignments in your life, because, as we grow and we change, sometimes people are seasonal, sometimes they're supposed to be with us forever, but we definitely will find that we have seasonal people, places, and things, and those things have needed to go, so you can say yes to something else. Now, also on the same day, we will have Pluto coming direct in the energy of Capricorn at 24 degrees. Now, this is, of course, just right next door in your second house space. Now, Pluto in Capricorn is not new. This is not new energy. It's just not new. We've been looking at it in this particular energy for 8 years. But now that Pluto is vibrating at 24 degrees and moving forward towards the end of this Capricornian energy, in your second house, you've been tasked to change. Have you not? Right? You've needed to adapt or die or grow or go in terms of your finances, in terms of your self-esteem, in terms of the structures that you have built around your financial life and your budget and the resources that you have. There's been a lot of phoenixing happening in this particular area. With Venus moving into your sign just a day later, we get to see how you've actualized. What have you been doing during your low-key phoenixing process while you've been over here in the chrysalis becoming the next thing? How are you going to butterfly? And I think that we really get to see that not so much in October, but more in November. In October, you're given an opportunity to really wake up and see how you've changed so that you can implement those changes as you move forward. But rest assured, you have changed, okay? On the 10th, we're going to see Saturn coming out of retrograde in the energy of Aquarius at 6 degrees. Now, this is, of course, just a couple steps away from you as well. And this is going to light up your third house space. So we've had Saturn working in this particular area of your chart. You got a sneak peek of what needed to change, where you were going to level up, take on more responsibility, obligation, maturity, any of those things. March of 2020, then you get a solid, yes, this is the direction we're going in December of 2020. So in your third house area, which is writing, speaking, teaching, siblings, transportation, cars, houses all live down here as well. That book maybe you've been writing, that website, that blog, any of these courses that you've been creating, any of those things, Saturn has been working on bringing you to this next level. And now as it's coming out of retrograde and it comes direct, you can look right here in your chart and look where it's vibrating at to see where is the world going to open up a space now, since Saturn is an outer planet. Goodness, you can tell it's Mercury retrograde. Where is Saturn going to open up in the outside world a space where you can now take this next vibration of yourself, this next level of maturity, especially in terms of how you think, how you communicate, who you are networking and hanging out with, and move yourself forward to this next phase of development. Now also, we have to look again at the fact that on the 7th, Venus did move into the energy of Sagittarius, into your sign, magnetizing you, lighting you up, bringing you some beauty. So even in terms of how you're going to present yourself, in terms of the quality of your voice throughout October and November, I think this plays a key in how Saturn is going to help to develop this as well. Now on the 18th, another very busy energetic day. We've got Jupiter coming out of retrograde at 22 degrees of Aquarius. Now Jupiter is of course your ruling planet, and Jupiter here is ready to expand you out. Right? It is ready to allow you to either become that beautiful student in the 3rd house place, or give you the space and the experience to expand out and become that teacher, the provider of wisdom in some way, shape, or form. So that's a lovely energy. I can't wait to see what you're putting out there. Now, also on the same day, we're going to see Mercury coming out of retrograde at 10 degrees of Libra. Now, this is again in this 11th house space. So as Mercury is coming out of retrograde, if you have been reviewing your friends, your social groupings, your social media, you know, do you want to be on social media? What social media is important to you in terms of what you have to add to the whole in humanitarian causes? What have you gone back over and looked at the relationships that you're keeping here? Because it is important that they are ones that feed your soul, that you are in balance, right? These are important questions to answer here. Now, if you need to sign any new contracts, means they came to your table from the 18th on, or maybe something new was presented to you between now and September and you kind of waited and held off, now you can sign anything new moving forward. Now during the Mercury retrograde, if you were finishing things, wrapping things up, bringing things with organizations to a close, that was really a better use of that particular energy. I will say, if you have Mercury retrograde natally in your chart or in your progressed chart, signing any of those contracts during Mercury retrograde was just fine. And you may actually find yourself coming to a slow down and wanting to think and review and evaluate things more after the 18th. So check out that natal Mercury placement, okay? On the 20th, we're going to have a full moon happening in the energy of Aries at 27 degrees. So, of course, this is your 5th house. The full moon says something has to be ended, acknowledged, or we need to adjust. We need to make a course correction here. And you're going to course correct with all the lights on, so you're navigating quite freely, quite consciously. You can see what's going on in the energy of Aries. So you're initiating, you're doing something, right? Now, in the 5th house, this is about pleasure, joy. This is the joy house. Do you have joy? Do you have pleasure? Do you have something that is true love in your life, or something that you perceive to be as true love? It doesn't have to be a person. You know, have you found that you are absolutely passionate about, you know, knitting, or whatever it is that you found that you have a passion for? But this is also the house of children. So what's happening? What's changing? What are you initiating? What are you seeing? Where are you helping usher your children in a different direction? Now, more and more as we have traveled through 2020 and 2021, I'm also seeing the 5th house in terms of your alignment, Sag, as a child, with your parents, your family members, and things like that. Traditionally, we would look through the 4th house, but I think many people under this energetic balance we've had over this last couple years have had to step back into our own childhoods, or our own childness, that childlike faith, that childlike joy, play, and energy, and reevaluate what's going on there. So under this full moon, you may be taking initiative to evaluate and take action on some of the desires from this energy. If you did want to start a new business, you're going for an adoption, any of these kinds of things fall well under this full moon to take some action, okay? At the end of the month, on the 23rd, now we're going to start to light up a quiet time in your chart and in your energy in the general. And it's right before birthday time. So as the sun moves into Scorpio all the way until November 21st, and then Mars on the 30th moves into Scorpio all the way until December 13th, this is going to light up your 12th house space. And in the energy of Scorpio, you gotta go to ground, Sag. It's time to get quiet. It's time to rest, recharge, rejuvenate, culminate some things, transition some things out, check on that spiritual life of yours. You are motivated. Maybe even go back. Go back over this last year. Go back over some things from the past. Connect to your dream life. Connect to a space that is quiet and ready to revitalize the spirit, because you need to make sure that this spirit is alive and awake, and the soil that you're going to plant your next set of intentions for your birthday time, your next year, it's fertile, it's hydrated, it's rested. It has investigated what are going to be actions, attitudes, and behaviors that create your own undoing, right? Or holding you back in that behavior pattern. So this is a wonderful energy as we get to the end of the month to be working on any of those behind the scenes things. Now, if you happen to be a traveler, a student, a researcher, a detective, gathering information, making plans, looking through things from the past, you'll be able to find that data and that information with relative ease as the Sun and Mars move into this particular position. So I hope it's going to be a gorgeous month for you, Sagittarius. Please keep me posted on everything that's happening. And please, I would love to know what has happened in your social life and your social groups over this last year. But most specifically, in this last 6 months, what have you seen around your social groups or your long-range plans that's shifting and adjusting? Let me know in the comment section down below. Have a gorgeous month. I love you, and I'll see you next month. Bye, Sag.